Shalom, shalom, it's brother Kadash. Want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashemi, Yahushai. I couldn't believe this when I seen this, man. Couldn't believe this when I seen this. So, Navy Federal Credit Union, which is, I guess, the largest credit union. Well, this is what they're saying: the largest credit union in the United States, right? You know, they just been caught up in some stuff where, I guess, under 50% of the black applicants that applied to get a mortgage loan from them has been denied, right? Or has been accepted. So 48% has been accepted, but over 75% of the whites that applied was accepted. So it's just showing you the wage gap, and it's showing you the racist system, right? And this is what we always say: you can't change the system. All these guys, these black politicians that like to say, go out and vote, go out and vote. You cannot vote and change a racist system that foundation is based off racism, like redlining and stuff like that. You have to get rid of the whole system and come with a new system. A little leavening already, And then, what I want to say, then you can't, the same thing with the police system. You can't change the police system and make it better by going and voting. You have to get rid of the whole system, because we know it's based off slave catchers, and the foundations and the origins of it is wicked. You can't change Thanksgiving to being the Lord's Day, because the foundations of it is based off a wicked pagan holiday. You can't change Christmas to being the Lord's birthday, when we know the foundations, it goes back to worshiping Nimrod and worshiping false gods. This is what we talk about, but let's let this play. And, you could go to my channel, because in the spirit, I broke down TransUnion, the different credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and I showed who sat on the boards of these different credit unions, and not border, but the boards of these different credit unions. So who had power, who was the CEOs of these different credit unions and had power over them. They work hand in hand with the banks, man, and deny you. Everything on my credit score, if it adds up to, everything on my credit history adds up to my credit score, they should go based off the credit score, and it shouldn't be based off if you're black or you're white or your nationality. But they got ways around it where you could have an 800 credit score, but they could go in and you can only have a credit history of 2 years, and they could deny you based off that. So it still gives them the power to be racist. But let's let this play. Watch this.
That Navy Federal Credit Union has the widest disparity in conventional mortgage approval rates between white and black borrowers of any major lender. This is the nation's largest credit union. It serves military members, defense personnel, veterans, and their families. And CNN's Renee Marsh found that it rejected more than half its black conventional mortgage applicants last year.
I mean, you got to think about it. Rejected more than half. So like 52% of blacks was rejected that applied for mortgages with them. So you wonder why the wage gap, because your home is the biggest way to build wealth in America, is your mortgage, your home. You build equity, positive equity, and then you sell it if you want to, and then you make all that money. You buy a house for 150, in a couple 5 years it's worth 200. You made 50K. You got to pay fees. You might walk away with like 30K by just rather than just renting and giving away your money. But this been going on. But even in 2023, it's still going on. We've been knowing this. That's crazy. And this is one of the largest ones.
It really is a nice neighborhood,
Baba Tandi, a Kenyan immigrant turned Texas entrepreneur.
I mean, you just got to understand, this bank is their money. So the bank get their money from the people that deposit it. So you think they finna give away these white people money, $500,000, $1 million of these white people money that probably make up majority of their bank, and then give it to some black dude? This is how they do these things, man. When the system is coming down, America is coming down, man. The dollar is gonna crash. The whole system is coming down. So they gotta cut back, man. They can't give out as many loans as they used to be able to, because money is tight right now, and they using a lot of that money to give to Ukraine, to give it to Israel, to get prepared and upgrade their weapons so they could go to war, right? To develop the MOTB and bring it and introduce it. They using a lot of money to do that. So they got to cut back on some loans, man. And cut back on giving out money. Interest rates are too high. So who you think going to be the first ones they going to cut off? They're not going to say, okay, let us cut off the white people first and still get the black people and Latino people loans. No, they're going to look at the black community. They're going to look at, okay, how many black people we got that's applying or that's banking with us. Start cutting them off first and get the money still to the white people still. Cut the black people out. Go choose from the black people first and start cutting them out. And then the Latino people start cutting them out. That's how it works. But you will see them come out in a couple months and they have some type of program where they're trying to make up for it, where they're giving black people loans. This is how it works, man.
Viewer knew this was his dream home the moment he saw it. It's in a highly sought-after school district that his son so desperately wanted to attend for its basketball program. So how many homes did you look at?
I gotta see what city that's in because I didn't catch it. But that house, that's a $500,000 house. Could be I ain't gonna say a M. That's a $500,000 to $700,000 house depending on where he at. Look like Texas to me, but it could be somewhere else. That's a $500,000 to $700,000 house right there. You getting denied, buddy. They'll give a black dude a $50,000 home loan, $100,000. But when you get to talking about $500,000 and $1 million and shit like that, you think they finna take them white people money and give it to a black? See, this is what I'm saying, man. The whole system gotta come down.
Before you found this one and said this was it?
We had about 6, but this was the one that we all wanted, and we're all praying to get this one.
Otandi's first choice for his mortgage was Navy Federal Credit Union. It services military members, defense personnel, veterans, and their families, and is the largest credit union in the country.
I was the CEO of my company, so I had a pretty good income.
Your credit was in the 700s.
Mm-hmm.
You'd recently sold your house.
Mm-hmm.
You had $100,000 for the down payment, which was more than 20%.
Correct. I mean, what more could you ask for?
CNN reviewed Otandi's financial documents. He even had a pre-approval letter from Navy Federal in hand. But just 2 weeks before closing,
I got a denial. They sent me a letter saying, "We're sorry, but your application has been denied."
Were you stunned, surprised?
I mean, I was stunned. I was shocked. I was hurt.
the denial letter listed excessive obligations in relation to income as the reason.
When they denied is when we came back and said, oh man, there's something else going on.
And what did you think that something else was?
Discrimination.
But it wasn't.
I mean, the man had a home, so he got approved for a home at some point in time. He sold it. He had $100,000 down payment for the next home, which is a crazy amount because nobody really puts that down, especially in the black community. 90% of the black community ain't never put $100,000 down for nothing, let alone $10,000. You see what I'm saying? He a CEO, proved his income and everything, but got denied. So imagine what they doing with business loans. So why you think the wage gap is the way it is, where the average white family makes 10 times more than the average black family? They make $190,000, and the average black family makes $19,000. Cause you ain't getting no money. Oh, y'all don't know the game. Y'all don't know how to get rich in America. The game of America, which is the same thing as Monopoly. The game is to get the bank to give you as much money as possible. That's how you get rich, by getting banks to give you money. Your rappers, your celebrities, they sign to major labels that get that money from the bank to pay them, and then they make the money back plus more, and that's how they make money. It's all about getting a business or a bank loan. How much is the bank going to give you? How much money is the bank going to give you? You go buy a car, a bank gives the car dealership the money. That's how it works. That's how you get rich in America. That's the game in America. Getting approved for the most money that you could get from a bank. That's the game. So if you can't get approved from the bank to get no money because you're black, your people are going to be in poverty. Your people are going to be less successful. You know, you go open up a business with $10,000 because that's all you got, versus a white man that goes to the bank and get $1 million business loan, barely have to even prove it, and he opens up his business with $1 million. Who's more likely to be successful? what? He has more money to pay staff. He has more money to buy whatever products. He has more money to buy nicer things. He has more money for advertising. All you got $10,000. You trying to make it work. You praying and hoping that you could make it work. Who's more likely to be successful? And if y'all in the same business and y'all direct competitors, who's more likely to be successful because y'all competing against each other? And who's more likely to go out of business? He gonna run you out of business because you can't compete with him because he got the bank on his side. They just gave him $1 million loan. You fighting against him with 10,000. He's competing against you with $1 million loan, and he could go back and probably got another $1 million credit line from the bank. You can't compete as a people, man. And this is why we talk about. I'm gonna have to pull the precept up, but let this play.
Just Atandi, thousands of other black applicants were also rejected. According to a CNN analysis of federal consumer protection data, last year, Navy Federal Credit Union only approved 48%. That's less than half of its black applicants for conventional home mortgages. White borrowers were approved more than 75% of the time.
Look at that. 77% to 48, that's a big amount. And then if you really look at the numbers, what's the average amount that this 48% got approved for? You know, black people buy houses, $100,000 house. If you a black person, you got a house for $250,000, you're doing good. Most black people is a $90,000, $70,000 house, $150,000. Now, what's the amount, the average amount for the 77% of white people? Ooh, they buying houses for $300K, $400K, $500K, $600K. Who you think owns those homes, bro? Not our people. It's the people the white people. That's who owns the $700,000, $600,000 houses. So they getting approved for way more and at a higher rate. You do the math, man. Every 10 black people that came in and tried to get a home, 5 was denied. Over 5 was denied. Now, for every 10 white people that came in, basically 8, only 2 was denied. That's crazy.
It's the biggest gap among the top 50 lenders. The data also shows Navy Federal was more than twice as likely to deny black mortgage applicants than white ones, even when different variables, including income, debt, property value, and down payment percentage, were the same.
This is what we say. We've been saying it. You go into the bank, right, with the same credit history, debt, all that type of stuff as a white guy. Y'all around the same age. Y'all got the same business. Y'all in the same industry. You go in and ask for $500,000 and get denied. He goes in, asks for $500,000 and get approved easily at that. Who's more likely to build wealth for their family? And these are the same people that have power in the community because they own the big dealerships. They own the gas station. They own your grocery stores. They own your politicians, basically. They own them because they the ones that has the resources, man. That attracts people to come to the city and live in the city, so the city can make money. So they gonna cater to them. It's no different. Like when I go to the auctions, if I go to a car auction, guess who the car auctions cater to? The big dealers. The biggest dealers get their cars going first. They get more advertisement for their cars. They get first say, first pick for everything. The small dealers, you ain't getting shit. You lucky to be there. That's how it works in America, man. That's the system. Capitalism, man. This is how this system works, man. So, of course, black people, you're going to be a people in poverty, no wealth. Because the banks is not giving it. It all goes based off the banks, man. It goes back to when the U.S. came over here. The U.S. government. When white people came over to America. And they was having white settlers come and they was giving them what? Land and money. But When the blacks got freed and they was promised 40 acres and some money, they didn't give it to them. That's what they claiming reparations for, and they still in 2023 still have not gave reparations for that. It is no difference. It's the same thing the banks do today. You got to be over qualified as a black man and still get less. Man, you got some of these white people going in these banks getting SBA loans for $7 million, $5 million. You couldn't believe it, man. Been open a couple years in their business, doing regular work. Well, actually, they're going to be doing a little bit better because they got all this help and all this extra shit. And they go in and the bank approved them for $5 million. Change their whole family's life. And then if they can't pay it, they just file bankruptcy. You know, take a couple million, put it in some different accounts, put it somewhere else, move it somewhere else, file bankruptcy, and go live off that couple million or start another business in a different name. Or have your brother start a business or your mom start a business where the family can make money. You wouldn't believe it. Black people go to the bank praying that they could get 10,000 and then still get denied.
Dated at one point, but also I feel a bit of anger because it shouldn't be happening.
In a statement, it said it is committed to equal and...
Okay, and that's a lie. That's just a way for them not to have to deal with. So if we gonna complain, then we gotta have some type of solution, right? And this is the solution. Acts chapter 2, right? We gonna go verse 41, straight to the point. Then they that gladly received his word were baptized, and the same day they were added into them about 3,000 souls, right? And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, which is supposed to be the Lord's doctrine. You know, the apostles follow the Lord, right? And so really just following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord in fellowship, but daily, not just on the weekends, and then we all go work our jobs and contribute to the white man system so we can barely get some crumbs, and then on the weekends we turn to Hebrew Israelites again, and then we come out, put our garments on, teach the truth. No, this gotta be a daily thing. You gotta live this. We gotta move and make our communities, Hebrew Israelite communities, live amongst each other, man. Then that's when you're gonna start causing hell in the cities. Then that's when they're gonna come against us, and then that's when the Lord gonna come and provide and protect us. Right? Now watch this. It says 3,000 souls. 3,000 were added. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship and breaking bread and prayer. And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. And all that believed were together and had all things in common. That's how you're going to have all things in common, once we live it together in communities together. That's when the cream rises to the top. Whatever the truth, you got different doctrines, but the truth is going to rise to the top once we live in together in communities. But that's going to happen when all hell breaks loose. We're going to be forced to put aside our differences and come together. And then the truth will rise to the top. See, brothers don't know they don't know shit, man. They childish and kiddish. They think, okay, I'm in a group, we just gonna bang against this group, and then one day they gonna see it our way. That's not how it works. That's why all hell gonna have to break loose in that persecution. A lot of people gonna be separated, put to death, and moved out the way so the elect could come together, like we were commanded to. And what's that? Zephaniah chapter 2. So let's keep going. It says, and sold their possessions in goods. So this is how you beat that system, that racist system. It's still today. They said it's worse today than what it was during the redlining, when they were redlining right after slavery, a little bit after slavery. Redlining, giving bank loans to white people in desirable areas and denying blacks. So they forced them pretty much to the ghettos. Giving, which happened to me too, appraisals on home lower for black people, and then appraisals higher for white people home, which also happened to me before. I seen it firsthand. It's crazy. So guess what? This is how you beat that system. You take all your money out the banks that you got, all your possessions, you take it out. Everybody quit their jobs, so you're not contributing to their system no more. Right? And then watch how many businesses collapse. If all black people, or majority of the black people, just take all the black people in one city. Let's just say New York. All the black people in New York quit their jobs. New York collapses. The NYPD and the military is going to have to come and force black people to go to work. And then you're going to see their true colors and that you are in slavery. If they all quit their jobs tomorrow, then all these big companies and CEOs of these gigantic companies that's making all this money, their business is going to collapse. No workers. And then even bigger, if we stop buying all their stuff, their businesses collapse because you got no consumers. This is all we got to do. And it's game over. Monopoly game is over. Right? Sell all our possessions. Sell your house. Sell your car. Sell all that bullshit. Take all your money out. All the goods. Right? And parted them to all men as every man had need. And then bring all our wealth that we got to our community and part them to every man needs. So that way nobody has to go to work because I gotta feed my family. Y'all good, but I'm not. I gotta go to work to make some money to feed my family because now we took all our wealth, put it in one pot, just like Yahweh Shai said, put it in one pot, and then we took from that and took care of everybody. So now you don't have to go work. This is how it's supposed to be. So now you don't have to go work in this Esau system, which means what? His system's gonna come down quickly, right? Now watch this. And they continue daily, not weekly, not monthly, daily, with one accord in the temple, breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God, having favor with all the people. The Lord added to the church daily as it should be saved. And people say, well, they tried that in Black Wall Street, they tried that here, tried that in there. Were they following the Lord? Yeah, it was unsuccessful because they was not following the Lord. But if you do it in a way where you're following the Lord, then the Lord's going to add to the church daily. Then it will be successful. It's not a problem with us building communities. We shouldn't be scared to build communities. The problem is that community has to be following the Lord. It's even better because now, if I get into it with this Ak and he's a part of another group, now we spend the next 20 years hating each other and dissing each other. But it's different when you live in a community. I have to see you and we live in the same community together. We got to work out our differences. That's the way the Lord wants it to be. Now we have to. We seen each other all the time. We have to work out our differences, man. But yeah, if you ain't got to see me and then you just a part of this camp and I'm part of this camp, we have some type of riffraff and now we could just hate each other and just blame stuff on each other back and forth and look at each other like we both go. You look at me like I'm going off. I look at you like you going off. You look at me like I'm wicked. I look at you like you wicked. Like you gonna be, and I keep saying that you gonna get judged for the shit you doing. You keep saying I'm gonna get judged for the shit I'm doing. You could just do that for 20, 30 years. But when you live in the same community, you got to see this guy's face. Now you have to reconcile, which is a good thing. Brothers should come back together. Which showing you even more that this is the way to tank that whole racist system. Overnight, Esau systems are going to go down, banks are going to fail, businesses are going to fail, and then guess what they're going to do? They're going to come out and target us. They're going to do some false flag attacks, say that we did it to target and break up our communities. But guess what? What do it say in Judith? What's that? Judith chapter 5? If we follow the Lord gonna protect us. So we scared because we try to do that and we know that's what they're gonna do, and then that's gonna put a target on our back. That's scary shit. What do y'all want to do? Do y'all want to live comfortable in America until it falls? Just everybody work their jobs, live comfortable until the end finally comes. That's scary, man. What is you being scared for? We supposed to come together. We know they gonna come against us. We want them. The sooner they come against us, the sooner we get up out of here, man. So we want to provoke them to come up against us. Stop being scared, man. So we can get the fuck up out of here. With that, I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.